So, welcome in the second part for the action potential, right? Here I've drawn the one segment of our neuron membrane, and here we have a few different channels, right? Okay, so here we have the leaky potassium channel, which are like the simple diffusion channel. By the action of simple diffusion, as we have the more concentration of K positive inside the cell and more number of concentration of sodium outside the cell here, so there will be flow of K positive outside the cell by these sodium by these potassium leaky channels. Right, in the green we have the sodium voltage gated channel, and here in the blue we have the potassium voltage gated channel. In this spherical, what it is highlighting is we have the sodium potassium pump or sodium potassium ATPase, right? So what just happened that this is the simplified or very easy, this will be easy to understand that what is this diagram is. This represent the green. In the green we have the simple sodium voltage gated channel, right? So let's just see what happens. That this is the resting condition, and this right here, this is the inactivation gate. This is the inactivation gate of our sodium voltage gated channel at minus 70 millivolt. When the membrane is at a resting when the membrane is at a resting condition, that we have established a resting membrane potential of minus 70 millivolt right here, right? So what happens here is that nothing is just happening. But when we have a stimulus, right, how we acquire a stimulus? Here we have the sodium touch sensitive, or we can say that they are the mechanically they are sensitive channels for sodium. Few amount of sodium gets enter inside the cell, and if I draw here, if I draw in this region, that for example this is our minus 70 and this is our minus 55 threshold value. So if the sodium is coming inside in a very little amount, so it is not able to generate a strong threshold. But if the sodium has been entered in the appropriate amount, then what just happened is that then it reaches to the threshold at minus 55. So at this point what just happening in the resting condition, the sodium voltage gated channel are like this. But in the minus 55 value, what is just happening, that this gate is getting open, right? Okay, so here I have a correction. All right, so this is the closed gate, right? This is our closed gate, and this is the inactivation gate here. So here the Na positive VGC is closed, right? But at minus 55, when the threshold is reached, at this point what just happened, that the command will send to the sodium voltage gated channel that please open. And when they will open at only this particular moment, from minus 55 millivolt to the plus 30 millivolt, what just happening, there will be a huge amount of influx, right? In this region there will be the influx of Na positive in a very large manner, right? So Na positive is getting inside the cell. So when Na positive will getting inside the cell, the polarity is getting distorted. How it is getting distorted? Right, inside we have the negative charge and outside we have the positive charge. But when the large amount of Na positive will come in, also the positive charge inside the cell will increase, and when the cell will increase, then the minus value will getting decreased. So here we can see that up to the this value, up to the plus 30 millivolt, the sodium is getting inside. And in this fashion, for example, what just happened, that when it is getting open, then the inactivating in the same time, when this gate is getting open, then in the same time the inactivation gate, it is getting closed. So only in this scenario, only in this region, when this gate is getting open and this gate is getting closed, only then the Na positive can enter inside the cell. And believe me, it entered in a very huge number, right? So at this particular moment, when at the plus 30 here, what just happened, that the inactivation, they're getting close. So now Na positive cannot enter. It cannot enter inside the membrane, right? So what just happened here, the process of repolarization occur. At this moment, our these channels are getting open, and when this channel will get open, then there will be the efflux of K positive from inside the cell, and the K positive will get outside the cell, right? So there we have the repolarization, the process of repolarization when the K positive is getting outside the cell. And in this particular moment, what is happening, that in the process of repolarization, sodium getting sodium voltage getting sodium voltage gated channel, it just get into the resting state. This is its resting state, so it is getting into its resting state, and at this particular moment the K positive is getting outside the cell. And then so as the K positive, they are slow to open, they are also slow to in the closing also, so they will close slowly at approximately for minus 85 millivolt value, right? And so here it is getting in the process of in the state of hyperpolarization here, right? So this how the whole process occur. Now let's see the mechanism, how the signal getting jump from one segment of neuron to the another segment, like this, like one area to the another, right? So let's just continue, right? So for example, there we have a stimulus, right? From minus 70 to plus 55 we have a threshold, then we have reached the threshold value. And when this will happen, the depolarization will occur. Outside the cell we have more concentration of Na positive, and also we have huge amount of positive outside the cell. And inside the cell we have large amount of K positive, and also negative concentration inside the cell, right? So when the Na positive will getting inside the cell during the process of depolarization from minus 55 to the plus 35 millivolt value, this Na this will getting spread in this region, right? It can spread up to a value of 2 millimeter, right? So when this will spread here, it also activates the another segment. For example, this is one segment and this is the another segment, for example, hypothetically, we can, if we can say that. So the Na positive will also it get act on this VGC also. So what happens, that it will also act as a threshold for this this Na positive will act as a threshold for this particular segment, for this sodium voltage gated channel, right? So what happens, that it also getting depolarized here. But when this getting depolarized, right, this Na positive comes from this side, and then what just happened, that it gets travels to the this Na positive VGC. What just happened, it also starts depolarizing, and the amount of Na positive also getting inside the cell, right? This is our first case, what just happened. But when the Na positive, when this is getting depolarized, then this is getting repolarized, then this segment is getting repolarized, right? When the Na positive will spread over, and then the positive charge will also getting accumulated inside the cell, then the net positive charge inside the cell via the influx of Na positive, it just get increased. So now the positive concentration inside the cell, it is getting increased. But at this time, these channels will be closed like this, right? And then these channel will open, K positive VGC will be open, and then they will open, then the K positive charge, the positive charge of this K positive charge, it getting outside the cell, right? And then the positive charge, it is now here, and now the polarity is reversed. In the beginning we have this in the black we have the plus, and then in the black we have the minus. In the beginning it was like this, and when the process of repolarization is occurring, then the positive charge will be getting outside the cell here, and the negative charge will getting again re-established as the K positive getting outside the cell, right? This fashion is getting here. And now when in the state of hyperpolarization, there becomes the role of sodium potassium ATPase. It just bring 2 K positive inside and 3 Na positive outside, right? 3 Na positive outside. As when the Na positive will come, not only the positive charge will come, but also the Na charge will also come. So this Na, the 3 Nas are getting outside the cell, and the 2 K positive, for example, here we have a K positive, here we have the K positive. So these 2 K positive, these are getting bring back inside the membrane, and the 3 Na positive, they are getting outside the cell, right? So this is a function of our ATPase, right? So when this process is getting occur in the one segment, then this Na positive, this will also this K positive, it is getting repolarized, and then this is getting depolarized. So the process of action potential, we can say that is the fluctuation of ions when the depolarization is followed by the repolarization. Here we have what we have the depolarization, which is followed by the repolarization. And when this Na positive will get inside the cell, the same process will occur here also. And this Na will get, then this Na will also get on the both sides up to the 2 millimeter distance. And then for the third segment, if we say that here we have, if we have a third segment, right? So if we have here a third segment, then also we, for example, this is our Na positive VGC. So this will also trigger the action of Na positive VGC, and a large amount of Na positive will getting inside the cell. And when this is happening, when the depolarization of one segment is happening, then the previous one we have the repolarization. So depolarization is followed by the repolarization. This is the whole concept, right? And that's how the impulse is getting travels from one point to another, right? So guys, welcome again. So here, let's just understand, this is our last segment of the video, then how one impulse is getting fluctuated to the next, how one segment, the action potential from the one segment is getting fluctuated to the another segment, right? For example, we have taken the 5 hypothetical segments of across the neuron. So when there will be a flow of positive charge here, right, there will be a flow of positive charge at this particular moment, at from -55 to +35. This is the process of depolarization. So Na positive will getting inside the cell, and it just getting like it just sweeps over the different distance, right? And when this triggers, when this Na positive, this triggers also this thing, right? But when the, and now the sodium will also travel from here also, right? Hope you can understand this, that this Na positive will trigger this Na positive VGC. And when the Na positive is getting inside the cell, it also travels on both sides like in this fashion. But during this same time, right, when the Na positive is getting inside the cell, this is the process of our depolarization. And when the process of depolarization of one segment is happening, then the previous one we have the process of repolarization, right? Repolarization, when the K positive will go outside the cell. So here we have shifted from here to here. Now we have shifted from here to here, right? So in the similar manner, now when this Na positive will get in this segment, then there will be the influx of Na positive, and this Na positive will switch over in the same fashion. And the previous in this region, now the process of repolarization is getting done here. And when the Na positive will getting here, then there is the influx of Na positive, right? And here we have, on the previous one we have the repolarization in this fashion. And now when the Na positive has entered in this segment, it will travel here and here, and now it will cause the repolarization here in this segment. So what we can see, that we have traveled from segment number 1, right? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, right? So we have traveled the sodium chain, or we can say that the charge in the form of electric impulse, it has traveled from segment number 1 to the segment number 5th here, right? This is the 5th segment, right? So we can say that this and here and here. So that's why I draw this in this fashion, that this is the fluctuation, right? This is the wavy fluctuations of the ions, of the charge across the plasma of the plasma membrane of our neuron, right? And that's how one signal is getting conveyed to the another signal to the central nervous system, right? So that's how we can say all about our action potential. So hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you like it, so then just like my video and just subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.